back. Here's where we stand so far. Jamie and I got word that interleaving the pages of 2 phone books yielded something incredibly strong.
Does this remind you of when you used to count money for the mob?
I was a hitman. I wasn't a money counter.
So we did it, and we tugged on them. We couldn't separate them. We got 10 friends together. They couldn't separate them. We got 2 cars, and still, those phone books wouldn't be separated. But we're not going to leave it there. We went out and found a couple of tanks. Behind me is 30 tons of military steel, 650 horsepower. Are they going to separate the phone books? At this point, I have no idea. But I do know that something is going to happen.
So it's the 14-ton, 300-horsepower M113A1 fire support vehicle. And the M551 Sheridan, also known as the Death Stalker, which packs a healthy 350 horsepower and weighs in at 15 tons. Versus 2 phone books.
I was trying to make a phone call. That's all I wanted to do.
The question is, can the pages take the pressure?
If this doesn't separate the phone books, I'd call them effectively unseparatable.
I think so.
All right, let's see what happens.
I love the smell of diesel in the morning.
Okay, go ahead and pull slack.
With the lightest of touches on the throttle, the tanks ease delicately apart. The careful positioning not reflected by the force gauge needle.
That's 1,000 pounds of force so far.
With the slack taken up, Jamie signals the start. 30 tons of mighty military machines slowly begin to move in opposite directions, and the force gauge climbs quickly. But the courageous phone books, you couldn't call them yellow, hang on for all they're worth.
There it went.
Separated, it worked.
But the Yankin tanks finally win the tug of war.
Darn.
You wanted to see some metal breaking?
Yeah, well, I wanted to see these things spin, burn rubber.
Nope, unlike the rental cars, these puppies had traction and power to spare. And talking of power...
Let me see how many pounds it took. 8,000 pounds of force is what it took. Well, our military steel was up to the task of separating the phone books. And lest you think that 8,000 pounds of force is not a lot, let me put it in perspective. We could hang both of those rental cars from those interleaved phone books and it wouldn't have broken them. That's how much force we're talking about. It's pretty amazing.
So it turns out that interlaced phone books are not, in fact, indestructible. You just have to have a couple of tanks hanging around to do it.